First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem Rokakwadash. Yahweh is who this world ignorantly calls God. Yahushua is who this world ignorantly calls Jesus. Ba'ashem means in the name, Rakah means spirit, and Kodash means holy. And that's all in the Paleo Hebrew. I also want to give double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. And today's video, I wanted to go into how the rapture is not biblical. Okay, and the reason I'm making this video is because you had this giant thing with all these Christians believing that they were going to be raptured on September 23rd. And newsflash, it's September 24th and nobody has been raptured. And it goes back to this, it says a pastor from South Africa called Joshua Mkalakela said in a TV interview that he had seen Jesus in a vision. In this vision, Jesus returned to earth on Rosh Hashanah, the new year in Judaism. The pastor also said that the rapture will take place on either September 23rd or September 24th, right? And ultimately what this is what Yahweh Shai said. He said that, in these days, Matthew 24 and verse 11, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And this is an example of that. This guy is a false prophet. He gave a prophecy that didn't come to pass, so he's a false prophet. And the people that followed him got deceived. So, hey, this scripture is ultimately debunked very easily. And it's a scripture that says that no man, right, Matthew 24 and 36, it says, but of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. Right, so even the angels don't know, even Yahweh Shai doesn't know when he's going to come back. So how are you on earth, a mere mortal, going to know? Right, makes no sense. So that was easily debunked. But now dealing with, the understanding of the rapture. So the rapture is essentially a doctrine that some Christians have, that they believe that the Lord is going to come and save them from the tribulation. Right? It says that the Lord is going to save them before the tribulation even happens, right? Pre-tribulation rapture. So they believe that, they're going to be beamed up before the tribulation happens, and after the tribulation is done, they're going to come back on earth, which is complete horseshit, because this is going to be a quick hit. When you go into Matthew chapter 24, and I'll start at verse 29, it says, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heaven shall be shaken. Right, and that's going into the thermonuclear destruction. It says, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Right, so right after that, destruction, Yahweh Shai is going to pop up, with the angels. It says, and he shall send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. And that is the proof right there that the elect are going to only be gathered up after the tribulation, which means that they're going to go through the tribulation. Okay, nobody's going to escape, Jacob's trouble, a time like never before seen. Nobody's going to escape these end times. Okay, that's why it says in Matthew chapter 24 verse 13, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Right, so in order to be saved, you got to endure all the bullshit that is going to take place. So that's the first point. That's the second point. And another scripture to just really seal the deal, Revelation 3 and 10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Right, and face value, you can see how some so-called Christian can use that to, go into the rapture. See, he's going to keep us from the hour of temptation, meaning we're not going to go through the hour of temptation. Right, that's what they would say. But when you go into another translation, it says, because you have obeyed my command to persevere, I will protect you from the great time of testing that will come upon the world, to test those who belong to this world. Right, and at the end of the day, the testing is to try everybody that dwells upon the earth, right, to see if you really believe or not. So when it talks about he's going to keep you from the hour of temptation, he's going to protect you in that day. Doesn't mean you're going to escape the temptation. You're going to be protected in that day. That's all it means. And a scripture that goes hand in hand with this is Psalms, the 91st chapter. Psalms chapter 91 and verse 4, it says, He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day. Rather, terror by night, going into all these atrocities that are going to be taking place, murder, rob, rape, and the arrow that flieth by day, going into those missiles. It says, Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Right, and that is the being protected in that day. We're still going to be in the midst of the elements, going through all types of situations, but nothing is going to touch the elect. It says, Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made Yahweh, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling, for he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. Right? The angels, at the end of the day, are the ones that are guiding us. And you can get a precept to that in Daniel chapter 12 and verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that should be found written in the book. Right, and the book is going into the book of life, which is just talking about the elect. But guess what? Michael, the archangel, is going to have to stand up to protect the elect of the nation of Israel. So implying that we all got to go through it at the end of the day. So hopefully it was as edifying, straight to the point, and showing you that there's no such thing as pre-tribulation rapture. Right? The salvation is after the tribulation has already taken place. Hopefully this is edifying. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors to the other bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Shalom to elect, Shalom.